starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington.
For the past few days, Peyton Place has been engaged in a public quest, the search for the missing Allison Mackenzie. But this morning, Chris Webber has a quest of his own. He must find out what part his brother Lee played in Allison's disappearance. For only in that manner will he know how much of the blame he must place upon himself.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Lee.
This is kind of a surprise. Why don't you sit down?
No, thanks.
I didn't expect you to stop by.
Well, there's something I want to talk to you about, Lee.
Well, go ahead. I'm not going anywhere.
I want to know exactly what happened between you and Allison on that wharf.
What do you mean?
I just want a straight answer to a straight question.
Nothing happened. I was on my way home. She was there. That's it.
You talked to her.
So?
So I want to know why.
You see someone you know, you talk to her.
Come off it, Lee. You knew you were risking your bail. She helped put you in this jail. She was going to be a witness against you.
Look, we talked. Then I came home and she split. Now, I didn't think I was risking anything.
What did she say?
Oh, nothing much. Small talk. She acted kind of weird.
Weird? In what way?
I don't know, like something was bugging her.
Like maybe you, for instance.
No, not like me, for instance. Why do you think she was in the hospital? She didn't have any broken leg. She was strung out, Chris, inside, and you know it. Stephen Court told us, remember?
And what did you do to help, Lee? Lean on her a little bit? Try and shake her up just a little bit more?
Yeah, that's right. And then I weighted her down with chains and tossed her off the wharf.
Look, Lee, they revoked your bail. They must have had a good reason, something to hang it on.
Sure, they had a reason. I told you what happened. Elliot Carson and that, what's his name? Dr. Rossi, they got together and they decided they wanted me out of circulation. The judge went for it.
That's the way it always is, isn't it? It's a big plot against you. Nothing's ever your fault.
How many ways do I have to say it? I didn't touch that girl. I didn't do anything to her.
I find that hard to believe, Lee. I was there when they arrested you, remember? You could have torn her in two. I believe you would have if the police hadn't been there. So when you got your chance on that wharf, why shouldn't I believe that you would take it?
Look, Chris, that girl never did anybody any good. I'm behind bars because of her. You've been twisted inside out while she's been teasing you along all the way. Well, you're worth 100 of her. How long's it going to take before you...
Stop it! Stop it. I don't want to hear anything against her. Not ever. Not ever from you.
Okay. But you know I'm right. Maybe you'd better get something straight, kid. I've done some pretty stupid things in my life, but I didn't kill Ann Howard. And I didn't do anything to Allison. Now, I don't know why Little Red Riding Hood isn't around. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But you shouldn't blame yourself for telling her off. She had it coming. And if she never comes back, it'll be too soon. Oh, come on, face it, Chris. That chick never cared for you. Not for 1 minute. Rod dumped her, and it just so happened that you were around. Guard! Look, I'm not going to be a patsy for you or anybody else, Chris. Especially not over her. You'd better believe me, little brother.
I came to close out Ann Howard's account for the car that you sold her.
Oh, well, I can't take any more money for that. I would have given it to her if she'd let me.
Well, you fixed it up for her. You got a lot of time and money invested. I just as soon close it out.
Well, I'd have to figure out how much it is. I've got it in my records. You got a minute?
Sure.
All right, come on. Now, that was April, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late April.
Oh, yeah. That's $83.
83.
Look, Mike, you know this isn't necessary.
It's necessary for me. Rod, I'm sorry about Allison. I feel the blame for that myself.
Why, you are the one man who never let her down.
Didn't I?
I don't know. I think I could have helped her more than I did.
Elliot came to me and told me how emotionally disturbed she was, and I was all insulated with Ann. I wasn't ready to listen to anyone else's troubles.
What happened to Allison didn't happen yesterday, or the day before that. You know, once upon a time, I think I might have been able to stop it. If I just had the magic word. But it wasn't there. It never came. You know, I keep wondering if she thought about me when she left.
Well, she did. The police let me read Lee Weber's statement. After he had talked to her out on the wharf, she came over here to the garage and she looked in the window. You were inside and she walked away.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what he claims.
Why didn't she come in?
I don't know. I guess she was past the point of communicating with anyone.
With anyone, or just with me? Oh, I failed her a lot of times. A lot of times. Maybe she remembered that. At least you'll never have to feel bad about Ann.
I'll never have to feel that. I do feel I could have prevented what happened to Ann. Every time I see Lee Weber. You know, you don't have a monopoly on failure, Rob.
But there's still a difference. You committed yourself to Ann when she needed you. She had that. I never could with Allison. Because it was too late.
I committed myself with Ann, but still I couldn't prevent what happened to the girl I was going to marry.
Neither one of us could. Listen to us weep, huh? You know what I had with Allison? When I think back to when we were in high school, I was the big wise guy. She was the girl who wouldn't throw herself at my feet. Oh, we taught each other a lot. We loved each other. But that part of our lives is over. There's no making it come back. We had a chance. A chance to go forward. We couldn't handle it.
I love the shop in the morning. So warm and friendly. I sound like an ad.
Now, what's the order of the day?
A new fiction table.
Oh, good, but where would you put it?
By the window. It may be in the way a little bit, but I want people to run into it.
Oh, bestseller list?
Mm-hmm. Bestseller list. A whole table full of new books.
They do tend to get lost when they're so carefully stored away. Where's the table? Oh, that's, something for Allison, isn't it?
It's a catalog from a little art gallery in New York on 57th Street. Strangers should come today. Elliot should be in New York now.
Allison talked about going there, didn't she?
Many times.
Hello, Miss Carson.
Norman?
Oh, Norman, you're a mind reader.
Well, I saw you two pass by, and I thought I'd rush right over and be well liked. Black?
What?
And black.
Have cream?
Oh, I forgot it. It'll only take a
Oh,
minute.
wait a minute. I have some upstairs. Excuse me.
Norman, anything we can do to keep her mind off of Allison. Anything.
I know we the books off the shelves and dust everything. Mr. Carson would give me the time off.
No, she wouldn't go for the two of us working hard while she sat around and did nothing.
True.
Now, the best thing would be an army of customers marching in here one right after the other, taking her time with foolish questions.
You know what?
Yes, I know what. This will probably be one of those days, one of those slow-moving days. There'll be about half a dozen people in here all day long.
Mr. Carson would help, though. I could ask him to drop in a couple of times and maybe read them.
Good, and I've asked Stephen to call for a few books. You know, mysteries for a client he'll have to invent.
Yeah, kind of like changing of the guard.
Well, I found the cream and something to nibble on, too.
They look good.
Listen, you two. I have a strange feeling that you've both been talking about what to do about poor dear Constance. Let me help you. I can't get Allison out of my mind. There's nothing in the bookstore that won't remind me of her. There's nothing in this world that won't remind me of her. So I'm going to stop trying. It's comforting to me to think about her, hear her name mentioned. I can't ever forget her, even for a moment. But I can face it. I can face what happened and keep her in my thoughts.
Well, I better be going. If you need anything, just give me a...
I'll wait up.
All right. Let's talk about Alice.